Welcome back. In this video, we're going to read and discuss some AITAs. I've got Reddit pulled up. This time, I pulled up specifically like weight loss, weight questions about AITA. I don't know. I'm just like on this weight loss journey myself. It's what's kind of on mind, and I thought that could be the theme of this video. So let's hop right into it. AITA for telling my girlfriend to lose weight. I could see all of you guys' opinions already. I'm going to reserve mine for after the story is read. I, 20 male, have a girlfriend, 21 female, and we've been dating for 2 years now. When we started dating, we were both on the chubbier side. We were both active and healthy, but we never really cared to lose weight. My girlfriend has a health condition that makes it harder for her to lose weight, but even then, it isn't as bad as she makes it seem. About a year and a half into our relationship, I felt it was time to make a change, so I started dieting and exercising more. My girlfriend was very supportive of me at the time, so I didn't see anything wrong with it, but after a few months, when my weight loss had become noticeable, she started to mind. I had asked her to go work out with me several times, but she was never interested, and a week ago, when I asked her if she wanted to go for a jog with me, she lost it. She shouted at me about how I was just trying to brag about my weight loss and how I'm trying to make her look fatter than she is. And she started saying things about how she knew I was going to cheat on her soon because now I was more fit. That made me very angry because I love her and I thought she knew that. I thought she knew that I wouldn't try to leave her. In a fit of rage, I said, maybe if you're so insecure about being bigger than me, you could try to lose a pound or two. She was shocked and burst into tears. She grabbed her keys and drove to her parents' house. I tried to call and text her, but she leaves me on read. Since she left, I've been getting so many calls and messages of people calling me a jerk. So, AITA for telling my girlfriend to lose weight. No, not at all. I don't think so at all. I could see that this, like, at the top they already mark it what the consensus is. I could see that I am very much against the consensus here. No, I don't think so at all. This is a fight that she picked. She got nasty with you, and your response was to be nasty back. Now, is that right? No. But is it understandable? Yeah. Like, she was attacking, it literally says she lost it and started shouting about how I'm trying to brag about my weight loss. No, what happened was she was already feeling insecure about her weight. And then when the people around her are doing something about it, she is now feeling even more insecure about her weight. And instead of feeling angry at herself for not doing something about something that she doesn't like about herself, she's projecting that anger onto him and being like, oh, you're trying to make me feel bad. No, ma'am, he's trying to make himself feel better, and that because you are not in the right mindset is making you feel bad. Just because something is making you feel bad doesn't mean that was the intended purpose of that action. And I had to learn that. Like, I genuinely, for many of my, I was like, people don't just accidentally make people upset. Yeah, they really do. They really do. When your feelings and emotions are taking over and making you put things on other people that, like, are not even on that, like, he never said, like, oh, you're not gonna come jogging with me? Ooh, you know what I mean? He's just offering to come jog. Like, if I picked up a new hobby, I would offer my partner, like, hey, you want to do this new hobby with me too? That's not to be like, oh, haha, you can't do it and I can't. It's just, I've picked something up, a new interest, new hobby, new things that I'm doing, and I'd like you to participate in them with me because I like you to do stuff with me. I'm pretty firm at no. Frankly, if you're gonna pick a fight about, oh, I feel so bad about my weight, then it's completely, that's the only time, really. I don't know, but that's one of the times where it is actually justified to tell someone to lose weight. If they are complaining to you about how their emotions or whatever problems they're having that are directly about not losing weight, that is actually the appropriate time to be straight up and frank with them and be like, yeah, okay, then you should lose some weight. Like, if your problems are weight related, solve them by losing weight. Let me go down and see, like, why people think he's an a-hole. Again, I think their feelings are probably just upset because I think, and I say this because I very recently was in this sort of thinking where it was like, if you hurt my feelings over weight, that's a you problem. But it's not, bro. It's not. If you say something about food and I feel insecure about that, that's a me problem. People really have lost, like, accountability. People don't really be accountable. We love to blame instead. This commenter quoted the part where she goes, she has a health condition. It isn't as bad as she makes it seem. YTA, every time some dude dismisses his girlfriend's legitimate reason for something he does easily, he wins $1 million. No, 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 no. That is so unfair. Knock it off. This commenter's trying to act like, oh, you're both trying to do it and you're able to and she's not, and so you're picking up. She's not trying. That's the massive difference here. It's not like they're both trying and he's having better results and being like, oh, you're not doing well, huh? It's like, she's not trying. You know what I mean? It's like, and again, I will say that people lean way too much on these medical problems about losing weight. Sure, things like PCOS or certain things make it harder. I guarantee you can go online and find people with PCOS who have lost weight. It's not impossible. It might make it harder for you. It might struggle. You might not lose as much. You might not be as successful. But this person is not trying, period. Not to mention that the girlfriend has been supportive of him in his journey and he feels like he doesn't have to give her the same courtesy. No. What story did you read? I'm sorry. What? Where did you read the support? Because I read that she was pretending to be supportive until her feelings got so hurt that she couldn't pretend anymore. It's like, I don't even want to say pretend. No, I'll take that back. I won't even say pretend. It's just, she probably was supportive of that. But again, only until her emotions outweighed how it now became more important for me to coddle my feelings than it is important for me to support this person, right? It's like she was supportive, but if she suddenly and very aggressively stopped being supportive, where she had this big lash out and screamed at him over something, over him inviting her to go on a jog with him, that's not being supportive. She very aggressively suddenly stopped being supportive. See, I am willing to accept that yes, everyone's the asshole on this one. Because of how she immediately tries to say he's going to cheat on her. It's not like he's the one who asked her to lose weight out of nowhere. She's the one who started to be unhappy with him losing weight and started to feel insecure, so she turned around on him. And that's really where... And really, there isn't anything stopping her from at least trying. Even if she doesn't actually lose physical pounds, it'd be still better for her health anyways. I'm going to upvote that one. That's finally one comment I actually agree with. That is... I'm sorry, that is so... Thank you. I feel like that's so well-rounded. It's not like he just out of nowhere was like, whoa, you're so fat and gross, lose weight. She was literally like, oh, I'm concerned that this is going to happen because of my weight. And he gave her a plausible solution to her concern. Again, it's not like he asked her that out of nowhere. It was because he was like responding to an attack, an emotional attack. This person quotes, my girlfriend has a health condition that makes it harder for her to lose weight, but it isn't as bad as she seems. And says, this is a weird thing to say. It isn't as bad as she makes it seem. How is that a thing you can make a judgment on? He lives with her. Or, I'm sorry, I don't know if he lives with, but like stop it right now. How can you make a judgment on whether your partner is actually struggling or something? Do you not spend time with them? Do you not talk to them enough to like get a full story about what's going on? Like, what do you mean? How could you make a judgment? How could you be with a person and not see at all, not have any clue if they're struggling or trying something? I don't know. Like, how could you possibly be in a relationship with someone and not have any clue? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, I'm wondering if she has something like PCOS that makes it damn tricky to lose weight because of hormones and insulin, and he's just writing it off as lady complaints. Again, if she were trying, she were actually going to the exercise room, she were actually cutting the calories, following the diet he's following, or whatever diet she might be following, whatever. If she's making any sort of efforts and the PCOS is making it harder, making it slower to lose weight, whatever, and he's being an a-hole about that, by all means, but that's not what's going on here, even close. Like, she's not trying. I'm sorry, I keep saying it, but she's not trying. People keep picking on that. Oh, you're dismissing her. No. If she were trying, that would be dismissing, but she's not. YTA leading with that, you're also an idiot. Great, you lose weight and you're feeling for yourself. You claim to still love her, but you have no empathy or consideration for her feelings. I would say the opposite. See, that's the thing is, when females are looking for support, we want emotional support. When males are giving support or looking for support, they want typically, I'm speaking very generally, when men want support, they want logic and reasoning and an actual problem-solving solution to their problem. You know what I mean? Like, women are just a little bit more idealistic and men are a little bit more like realistic and problem-solving. This female was clearly wanting emotional support, but a man gives support the way that they would want to receive it, and he gives logical support. If this thing, this action that you're not taking is causing you to feel bad, take the action. You know, he's not meaning to be harsh. He's not meaning to be dismissive of the feelings. He's actually a lot of the times trying to be exactly helping with the feelings, because he sees that this feeling is caused by a lack of action, and if you just did the action, like, you wouldn't feel that feeling. His end goal is the same as yours, is to not have you feel that feeling. But you guys just are expecting each other to go about it so drastically different. Like, as a very emotional, like, somewhat out of control of my emotions female, I have to try to remember that. Like, when I'm coming to my partner, I'm like, oh, everything's wrong. And he starts giving me solutions and how things I could do to fix it. That is support. That is emotional support. That's his version of emotional support. And I think it's women need to be a little bit careful of dismissing that just because it doesn't feel the way that we expect it to feel. It doesn't feel like emotional support, but it is. Just because it doesn't feel like it doesn't mean it is. It isn't. You know what I mean? ESH. She projected her insecurities, but you failed to recognize that and enforced her insecurities. It was such a layup for reassurance to comfort her and talk reasonably, but that kind of went out the window. I suggest apologizing, and hopefully she will too, if you don't get mad if she doesn't. This is a point where you two need to communicate. Yeah, again, I do agree with that. I definitely feel like he lost his temper and said and behaved very inappropriately. I'm just saying that I can kind of understand why you would lose your temper and behave inappropriately when someone just, like, out of nowhere attacks you, especially given that she was supportive up to that point. So it might feel like just completely out of the blue that you've always been supportive and now you're just like completely 180, like going crazy at me. Like, that would be really shocking for someone. So I can understand that. That's what it is. Period. Let's move on to another one. AITA for being honest about why I'm losing weight. I, 20 female, have always had issues with my family, particularly my 3 sisters, making comments about my body, particularly because I was into a looks-based field, acting, even though I'm probably not what would even be considered conventionally attractive. Ever since I started professional theater training 2 years ago, the comments have really ramped up. They usually have 3 things that they comment on: my hair, my weight, and my skin. They know I'm very proud of having very thick, curly black hair, so they often make comments about it being not really black, and compare it unfavorably to my little sister's by saying hers is darker and less bushy. I also have a condition that makes my circulation very poor, so I'm very pale, don't tan well, and have a lot of red in my skin tone, particularly my face, so it's a running joke that I look like a vampire. The last one, and the one that does the most damage, is the comments about my weight. My heaviest a year ago, I weighed around 133, but I'm only 5'3", so it looked like more weight than it was. My older sister, who is very small and petite, describes me as heavy and talks about how she wishes I could share a few of my pounds with her. I am boiling over everything. I'm going to vomit right now. What am I reading? You said this is your family? I'm going to try to trudge on. I decided earlier this year that I couldn't take it anymore, and after I got accepted to drama school, I committed to fixing the things I don't like about myself. I started taking care of my hair and learning how to use makeup to work with the red in my skin instead of against it. They didn't notice these changes, but they did notice when I started losing weight. I've been calorie counting, and I've lost 6 or 7 pounds since the start of the year. Excuse me, I think I literally just spit everywhere. Last night, after I refused a second bowl of pasta at the family dinner because I didn't have the calories for it, my mom commented on the fact that I've been losing weight and asked why I feel like I needed to do so, because I didn't look bad the way I am. I was honest and brief because of the last time I got called heavy by my sisters. I said that it really got to me and I wanted to make sure I really liked myself before going to drama school so that I'm not battling as much insecurity while I'm there. Everyone was kind of quiet afterwards, and my sister left the table not long after and wouldn't talk to me. Later that night, my mom pulled me aside and said that I could do what I wanted with my body, but I shouldn't blame my sisters for the way I felt about myself. She said it had really hurt my sisters, particularly my older sister, that I had made them feel guilty about my choice to lose weight. And even if I'm losing weight because of their comments, I should have kept that to myself. My other two sisters have since told me that making my weight loss about them was inappropriate and asked me to apologize for putting that on them, because even if they did comment on my weight, they've never told me that I should lose any, so I have no right to try and make it their responsibility. AITA. Nope. 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 You are, they're like, again, the amygdala loves to project. They feel guilty about their comments. They are now realizing, like, oh, things that I said made her feel bad, to the point where she's like literally gonna do something about it, made her feel that bad. And they feel guilty about that. They don't want to feel guilty about that. They would rather you feel guilty about that, because that's easier. You feeling guilty is a lot easier than me feeling guilty. So they're, again, trying to project that guiltiness onto her, acting as though this is her issue. I literally had to stop halfway through the story. This is your own family making constant, just like non-pointed comments about your weight. Like, my family mentions my weight to me, but they do it very structured, like with a purpose, for a reason, in a polite way, like at the right time. You know what I mean? They don't just like constantly say like, oh wow, you got bigger. Oh wow, you need a bigger size, huh? You know, just weird comments like that. Like, this kind of like just weird comments about like, oh yeah, you're just heavy. Like, oh, her hair's better. Like, why is your family constantly nitpicking at everything? And that kind of makes me wonder, are they nitpicking at everything? I'm like, is this maybe even a situation of projection before I've even read this story? Like, do you only feel like they're constantly picking on you because you're already insecure about these things? And maybe they're not actually picking on you? If so, then it's wrong of you to put that on them. However, you're kind of quoting here, and so I'm kind of going to take you at your word that they really are kind of making comments and like kind of picking on this, because you kind of do have quotes here about like how they call you heavier and how they compare your hair and stuff. So probably that's not the case. It probably seems like they actually are kind of picking on her, right? And in that case, no, absolutely not. If someone has said something that makes you feel a particular way, you are absolutely allowed to say that that's made you feel a particular way. You have to understand that you saying that might make them feel a particular way, but if it's worth, like, again, if they're really like picking on you like this, saying, oh, your hair's not as good, oh, you lost more weight, gain more weight, whatever, you should say something. They should feel guilty for saying unnecessary mean comments like that, right? Let's scroll down. I'm pretty freaking sure it's going to be NTAs. If your sisters feel guilty of their comments, that's on them. Period. NTA, your family apparently objects to the truth. Sorry, you have to deal with that, and that they manage to undermine your confidence. Your weight is your business, but please be careful. 6 to 7 pounds in less than a month may not be overly safe. Please don't restrict your eating too much. Okay, that's just a side note, but basically, yeah, NTA, they are, and they feel guilty about it. It's really inappropriate for them to slam people for their bodies. It's so easy to trigger eating disorders. Here's what your mom should have said. Honey, you're beautiful just the way you are. I support any change you want to make for you that are healthy physically and mentally. I'm sorry your sisters were insulting to you. Honestly, yeah, 1,000,000% agreed. That's exactly what. Oh, I'm so sorry that that your sister's comment made you feel that way. That's the thing, is when someone is saying something, and I don't think that they're even really meaning to make her feel any type of way about it. So somebody's doing something that they don't intend to do, it actually would, like, it's in everybody's benefit to let them know. They're not even meaning to do that, most likely. Maybe they just like have a little bit of insecurity or jealousy or something, and they're not even really meaning to put you down, and they don't even notice that they're actually really doing it, you know? AITA for wanting to gain a little weight. I, 28 male, have always been very thin. Even the slim fit is too big. I'm 6'2" and weighed 120 pounds. I asked my wife, Sarah, 28 female, to help me out to put on weight, but she's always busy with work. What is she gonna do for feed you like a baby? Sarah hinted that I needed to speak to a doctor about it, but it's embarrassing. I get engrossed in work and forget to eat. I have ADHD and hyper focus on things. Oh, so she could literally just remind you. Lately, she's been working from home, and so she's had time to help me out. She's been amazing. I finally agreed to speak with a dietitian, and they've been helpful in setting up meal plans and guides. Sarah's amazing, always checking if I'm doing okay, making sure I don't stay hyper-focused on work, and making sure I actually eat and stick to the plans. After months of the plans, I'm now up to 160 and I'm much happier. I'm confident, not as tired. I walk around shirtless without being embarrassed. My problem is my sister-in-law, Hannah, 23 female, she's been staying with us for a few months. At first, it was fine. She got a little annoying following me around all the time, but I thought she was lonely. She doesn't have anyone else. Then she started rubbing her hands across my ribs, grabbing me from behind, wrapping her arms around me, calling me beautiful. She grabs my waist and comments on the size. And I noticed I was eating more, and she started acting weird, making comments about not wanting me to get fat, poking my stomach, calling me fatty pig, etc. I brushed it off, hoping it would stop, or she was joking. She's always known I wanted to put on weight. I've known her for most of my life. I told Sarah she was angry, but I didn't want to create a wedge, so I said it was fine. Whenever Hannah didn't see me eating, she would touch me, saying she was checking if I was fat, told me to stop letting Sarah feed me, and calling her disgusting for trying to force me to be fat. I hide under baggy clothes unless Hannah's not around. I just don't want the arguments or tension. The other day, I thought it was just me and Sarah home, so I walked around in just shorts. It was boiling, so I didn't want to wear baggy clothes. Hannah walked out of the bedroom and saw me. She looked me up and down and started screaming at Sarah, calling her awful things. I went to intervene, but Sarah stopped me. She was screaming in Sarah's face about how she's making me fat, how she's going to hurt me. Sarah laughed in her face, which made her worse. Hannah then stormed off to the bedroom, slamming the door, screaming about Sarah being a disgusting feeder, how she needed to leave her skinny man alone. I laughed it off. Sarah was confused and checked on me. I told her I was fine. I found it funny. Things have been very tense since. I've tried to make light of it, but may have taken it too far. But eating and rubbing my belly every time I see Hannah, making her run off crying. So AITA for wanting to gain weight and antagonizing my sister-in-law. What? That's a weird story, bro. Why is your sister-in-law touching you and worrying about your body and commenting on your weight and telling you and your wife what you and your wife need to be doing about you and your wife? Like, what? What? What is happening right now? No, you are not an a-hole. Is this even a legitimate story? Because, like, do you actually think you're an a-hole here? Because why? Why would you think that? I cannot even fathom for 1 second why you would think that you're the a-hole in this situation. Your sister-in-law is so incredibly out of bounds. I can't even describe it. Like, what do you mean right now that your sister-in-law is touching you and commenting on your weight and trying to tell your wife not to do exactly what you have asked your wife to do? Like, what? I'm going to scroll down and see the comments. If I see a YTA, I'm going to, like, blow a gasket here. NTA, I don't understand why Hannah is still welcome in your home. She's an adult. She can find other arrangement. It was nice of you to allow her to stay, but in return, she's been horrible and your wife. Time to get rid of the a-hole. Agreed. NTA, this behavior is completely inappropriate and your sister-in-law needs to leave. What if she was a guy doing this to a girl? Don't care about that. You need to be honest with your wife and tell her exactly what is going on. Tell her you need to be honest. You didn't want to create a wedge, but you realize there's something mentally unstable with her sister. You are totally 100% NTA. Kudos to you and your wife for working together so well. You achieve your goal you wanted to get to. Not sure if it's a mental thing with Hannah or something else. Many boundaries are being breached here by her touching you and calling your wife disgusting for trying to force feed you. Your sister-in-law is harassing and verbally abusing you in your own home. NTA. But you would be the a-hole to allow to yourself if you and your wife allow her to stay. honestly agreed. Yeah, it's just like, that's... Hold on, someone's saying that this was posted, like, in a different... Oh, okay. Apparently the girlfriend posted from her side of view, but it's been removed now. Okay, well that's kind of an aside then. If it's been removed, we don't know what's going on. But NTA, firm NTA, and in fact, I agree with that commenter that says you would be an a-hole if you allow her to continue to be in your home and undermine you and your progress and scream at your wife and try to give demands about what needs to be done. That's crazy. AITA for telling my daughter-in-law, excuse me, AITA for telling my daughter-in-law she wasn't invited due to her weight. We have done plenty of things that are not physically taxing with her, but even the small stuff ends up on the bench half the way through. We went to the mall half the day on the bench. It was window shopping. She's obese. Her ankles are swollen from her weight. The connection between her weight and not walking far without a break is very obvious. I will try to keep this short. I have 3 girls, and we still like to do girl trips for the day. My son got married to a girl named Beth. Now, before her first kids, she was average weight, and after it got a lot worse. Her only kid is 8, and at this point, she hasn't lost any weight. It's bad enough that she needs constant breaks walking. I used to like her, and now I don't due to how she acts. Everywhere we go with her is a constant complaining and that she's tired. The last girls' trip to the mall was spent sitting on the bench half the day, and since she needed constant breaks. If you try to leave, she will go on about you abandoning her. It's annoying. I invited the girls to go to a farm for a pumpkin patch and pick some apples. It is big orchards and a ton of walking. We went in. It was a great time, and some of the pictures went on Facebook. I got a call from Beth asking why she wasn't invited. I lied, saying it was just a family trip, and she accused me of lying. I had enough and told her the truth. I told her she wasn't invited due to her weight, and that she forces us to stop all the time, and it ruins the trip for most of the days, since we don't get to do stuff for half of the day. She called me a jerk and hung up. I'm getting texts from my son saying to apologize, but the girls are on my side and are sick of having trips ruined since we all have to wait for her all the time. NTA, as someone who is obese and whose weight affects like my ability to do things, now not to this level. While I was getting fat, I was still exercising pretty regularly. Like, lack of exercise has never been my thing. So I'm able to go a lot more than someone my size might typically be. But even with that, my weight still definitely affects. Like, I can't hike as long as I would like to. Things like that. And I try to take that responsibility on myself as much as possible. Now, yes, it absolutely affects my partner. There's sometimes I just simply can't do anything other than try to lose the weight. For example, like there's hikes that he would love to take me on that I just don't think I could handle that hike. I just simply don't think I could. My knees, like, just, you know what I mean? I don't think I could physically walk that hard and that far and that high up a mountain and stuff, right? And I feel so badly about that. Like, and he doesn't make me feel badly about that at all. I just feel badly because it's just something that, I know he'd like to. I'm the one who brought it up, just to mention before y'all go in on him. I'm the one who brought it up. He was mentioning some old hikes that he used to do with his partners. So I was like, oh, I'd love to go on that hike. Take me. And he's like, oh, it's really, really hard if you think you could do it. And I was like, how hard? I don't think I could do it. Again, so it's like, I feel bad that there's things, it's like, and I'm sure there's other things that he doesn't even mention because he doesn't want to make me feel bad, right? But it's like, I'm sure there's things that he wants to do that he just simply never even brings up because he knows I couldn't do it. And I hate that. And that's why I'm trying so hard to lose weight. There's a million, that is not even in the top 100, but I'm just saying that's one of the things. And I think it's really important that if you have some sort of limitations, that you try not to make that other people's responsibility as much as you can. Like, for this specific thing, it's like, you have to understand, if you're not capable of walking very far distances, don't expect to get invited to the activities that require a lot of walking, period. Like, I don't know, it's just like, if I, per se, like, won't go in the ocean, period, like, I won't go to the beach, I don't like being near water, then I don't really expect to be invited on the boating trip or the beach trip. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's a me. I've decided, my limitations have decided that I can't do that thing, not anybody else. And I don't think it's fair that anybody else should have to limit themselves just because you are limited. I'm going to scroll down here and I'm quite sure it's going to be NTA. At the risk of being called fatphobic, good for you, NTA. Why should your trips revolve around her? Why should you be forced to plan outings that are within your daughter-in-law's step limit? Again, if something is within her step limit, you should invite her. But if it's not, it's not. Period. If all of my friends want to go on the roller coaster, but I'm too fat, I will gladly smile on my face, watch you guys have the funnest time of your life on that roller coaster. And I'm going to feel bad, yes, but I'm going to feel badly at me, about me, not about you guys, you know? Let me see if any, personally, I would be extremely annoyed with anyone who asked why they were not invited when I just wanted to go do something special with my daughters and they accused me of lying. NTA, there needs to be balance. Beth needs to bow out of things that are too physically taxing for her. Use mobility aids, whatever she needs to. Exactly, right? It's like you need to accommodate. Now, other people can help with that as much as we can, but you can't expect somebody else to be the one dealing with your accommodations all the time for every trip. You know what I mean? So I recently lost 60 pounds, 40 more to go. And NTA, I can't tell you how many places I couldn't go to, how much walking I couldn't do before. I allowed my weight gain that I could no longer do. I could see how it affected things in my friends, and I got so mad at myself. I was embarrassed and disgusted. I had heart failure, I had pulmonary issues, I got off my ass, and I did something. Sorry, but NTA. I get having kids makes things harder, but she is the first to go through this. She isn't the first to go through this, and she won't be the last. I got help. I swallowed my pride like a good little fat girl and got help. Maybe this will be her wake-up call. Honestly, yeah, like, here's the thing, and I know most people are not going to agree with this, but I think we should bring back fat shaming. Just a little bit. Just a little. Now, as with anything, let's not go too far to the extreme, but I feel like we've actually gone too far to the other extreme now, where we're like, oh, you're fat? That's fine. That's amazing. In fact, it's better than fine. It's amazing. You're actually healthier than it's like, I feel like we've gone too far. I feel like balance is good, right? Like, a little bit of shame about things is good. Shame is what motivates us to change the things that we don't like about ourselves. So if I just completely shameless about my weight, I will go the way of most of my family members and pass of a heart attack. Like, period. You know, it's like, it's important that I remain a balanced amount of shame about my weight. Now, is that hate yourself because you're overweight? Nobody's saying go all the way to the extreme. Somewhere in the middle would be good, right? I think we could probably stop it there. That was kind of taxing on my brain. Thanks for watching. If you liked that video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up down below. Subscribe while you're hanging out down there. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.